I want to go to Cuba. Would you be down?
I fucking love Cuba.
Oh yeah, you'd be down?
Yeah, I filmed a documentary there once.
The Cuban government actually hit my contact from the embassy and told him that if the only thing stopping us from coming to Cuba was the consistent internet access, we can make it happen.
Yeah, Cuba is sick.
Wait, the government reached out to you?
So yeah, of course. It's not reached out to me. There's there's a middleman there. Because I had a doctor from Cuba. Cuba does this thing called medical missions, and they've been doing it since I believe like the 70s, and it's incredibly successful. They have a massive, very robust like medical program because kind of they have to. Because they're under an incredible sanctions regime by the United States of America that the rest of the world thinks is abhorrent, except for America and Israel that keep consistently vetoing it over and over again. But this has created a major issue, obviously, where Cuba has basically had to like educate their own doctors, and because they have an abundance almost of doctors now, that they have been sending their doctors out as like medical missions and also generating revenue for the country this way as well. Like they send the doctors out to like Jamaica, for example, or other countries where they need additional help. And a piece of their salary goes back to the Cuban government because like, you know, it's like military. You know how like soldiers are paid by the government? It's like doctors. Instead of sending soldiers overseas, they send doctors. And I was talking to a doctor from Cuba yesterday about this, and he told me that there's a couple different things that are happening in Cuba right now that I can go and visit. And
Cuba's just sick to be. I went to Cuba before any other Americans were really allowed to go. I went on a student visa to film a documentary, and I had a fucking blast. I had so much fun. I played street baseball. I lived at an organiponico. Urban like farm, and it was so sick. It was so awesome.
We can do it fairly soon as well.
Dude, Cuba.
We can either go for May Day. May Day is a huge deal because Cuba is a socialist country, and May Day is like the International Day of Solidarity for Workers.
Let's do it. We'll do. We'll go to Cuba, and then we'll go to Miami.
No.
Why not?
Because we're talking about like an awesome place to go to, and you want to turn it into like the pedophile crypto paradise trip.
What?
I hate Florida so much. Sorry.
You know, I just wanted to go to Miami. We can go to the beach.
So anyway, he can go to Miami. And we'll go to
you
Cuba.
stay in Miami. You can stay at the Ritz-Carlton or wherever the fuck.
Cuba doesn't have beaches?
No, we can go to Cuba, go to the beach, but then we can also go to Miami. We could do it all.
No, I don't want to go.
I know
to Miami.
Cuba has beach. It's an island.
Cuba has beach. Beach, many beach in Cuba. Oh Jesus!
Right? They've got a lot of beach.
Is that like an AI video? Cuba is known for its beautiful beach.
It's right next to water. It's surrounded by water. Of course, it has.
Yeah. That's sick. I'm glad that you're down for it. Austin can stay behind, I think.
I'll go. I think I'd be
My
great
dad
in Cuba.
actually spent part of his life growing up in Cuba.
Also,
yeah, he lived in Cuba.
I did not
also
know
of the three of us, I speak the best Spanish. It's not even close.
We would be going with March.
Shit.
So
but he's operating the camera.
Obsolete.
No, he's operating the camera. What
about that, Austin? We would need you to run camera for the Cuba trips.
No, I can't. No, he's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to handle that responsibility. No, March can do both. He's got it all.
I'll go to Cuba. We've been talking about a couple trips, chat. Cuba and also China.
It's just there's limited amount of space.
Yeah,
so
you guys,
he's already been.
There's no way you guys can navigate an airport without me.
He's already been.
I've been to Cuba.
He's already been there. March speaks Spanish.
Yeah, but March doesn't speak Cuban Spanish like I do.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
ready? What's the difference between Cuban Spanish and regular Spanish?
Well, Cuban Spanish is Cuban Spanish, and
what's the difference?
There's no regular Spanish. Come on, there's lots of different types of Spanish. Mexican Spanish. He speaks Mexican Spanish. There's just.
But what notably?
Well, notably, there's a few different words.
They drop the S.
Well, now
Austin would have known that if he knew anything about Cuba.
And they speak a little quicker.
You're just making shit up.
This is also in the wrong direction. But yeah, no, you can come too. Cuba's gay as fuck, by the way.
Oh, I know. I've been to
Miami.
Please stop comparing Cuba to Miami.
Wait, I'm not trying. Wait, is that
Imagine
We're
if
gonna send you back on a raft. To
imagine
Miami's.
imagine if there was a socialist revolution in a country, and then like a lot of people that were not so fond of said socialist revolution in the country went directly to the nearest area that they could go to in the side of the country that is not fond at all of the socialist revolution.
Is I have been around a lot of Cuban people because there's a huge Cuban population in Miami, Florida.
No, I'm very familiar. These are very different.
I'm not saying that the Cuba that we're saying is the same as the Cuba that the Cuban people that I've surrounded myself with. What I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to not be offensive. Is what I'm really trying to say.
You're doing good.
Yeah, you're definitely
being
not
offensive?
stepping
No. Hey,
Hassan,
guys.
why were you letting me drown like this? Help me!
because it's funny.
Yeah, but are people gonna be mad at me?
Austin did stunt work recently. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. I want to watch that video, but last thing I will say is,
Can you help me?
they're not gonna get mad at you. They're gonna get mad at me,
Why?
and possibly even Will because he's been to Cuba already.
What did I do?
Not the Cubans in Cuba, but the Cubans in Miami will get mad at me for saying I like Cuba and want to go to Cuba.
Oh, but
No, Cubans in Miami are not going to be mad about
first
you
of all,
saying that
I love
Cuba's
Cuban
nice.
people. I just want to be very clear.
Yeah.
Yes, me too.
But my point is, there's some very flamboyantly dressed people in Miami, and I love them all, and I support both places equally.
Very cool. Okay.
Even the serial killers in Miami?
No, not those, except those.
Yeah, everyone but the serial killer.
But I dislike them equally.
Such a politician.